This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we're going to start with how to create a student account. There's a couple ways you can do that. How to create a class, how to activate licenses. We're going to walk through the product, custom exams, and reporting. So I'm going to try to keep this to an hour. I'm going to go fast. If you want to mute yourself, please do. If you want to unmute yourself at any time, yell at me and say, hey, Travis, what about this? Feel free to do that. You can also, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat window. There's a chat function in this GoToMeeting interface, so you can ask questions there as well. So has any of you created a student account so far? Okay, no. The answer is
yes,
no.
yes.
Domingo has. Okay, did you do
So,
them individually?
wait, and I made a mistake. Wait, and I made a mistake too. I think I archived one of my kids. But either way, you'll fix it. Right.
Did you say I'll fix it?
Yeah, you will. Well, I will.
Somebody will. Nicole. Send it to Nicole. Okay, let's talk about how we can create our student account. So I'm logged in as Ruth right now, and I need to share my screen. Otherwise, you guys will be lost. We won't be doing anything here.
Can I log in as her too to watch?
Sure, yeah. Just use her email address. So everybody, if you want to hack into Ruth's account, right now is the time to do it.
Yeah. We're all co-workers. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay, so if you can see my screen now, we're logged in as Ruth, Challenger Middle School. Let's start with this top right-hand corner. There's a drop-down menu here. Let's start with my profile. This is where you can change your username and password. So as well, students will have the same drop-down menu, and they're going to have some very similar functions here. So when they log in, they've changed their username and password, they want to reset their password, they can come in here and do that. So password recovery, merge accounts, they won't need to do that, but you don't need to either. Activated products, if you want to see what we're using, right now it's Desktop Pro Plus. That's the 2016 version, trending towards the 2016 Microsoft Office objectives. Okay, also in this drop-down menu, help and support. I was actually just on a technical review, and they were asking, hey, how do students get support? So a lot of times what will happen is students will go to the teacher, and the teacher can come to test out. If you want to skip that step, especially if they're all virtual, just know that they can reach out to support. They'll have the same drop-down menu, and they can reach out to the support team as well. As you notice, there's 3 ways to get hold of our support team: email, chat in, or call in. Most of the time you can call in. We'll answer the phone, usually within under a minute. Honestly,
I can't
probably.
get into the account.
Oh, I wonder if it's because I'm in. It might be.
Okay, then I'll go back in under myself.
Okay. Login is you. Now, let's see, also in this drop-down menu, Instructor Resources, let's talk about these. Tutorials. So if you want to go through a tutorial, hey, I forgot how to create a custom exam question, or I forgot how to activate a student. You can go through any of those tutorials, as well as in this new LabSim 6 interface that we've created. Notice the question button here. This is going to be some of your students, well, some of your best friends. So if you want to come in here and you forgot how to activate a license, you can see that's a common one. I can come in here, I can search for how to activate a license, and now I will see a video tutorial with step-by-step instructions of how to do anything. So the goal here is you don't have to call me or Nicole, and you guys can figure these out on your own. But any questions, so same type of thing, we can come in here. Let me go back here. So we're going to start off, how do I create a student account? So I can type in create student account. I can't type. And I'll see tutorials here giving me some options: inviting a student to campus, enrolling a student, add or enrolling student. So that's the one we want. We're going to talk about that. That one's through a CSV file. We're going to go through the 3 ways you can invite a student into the course. So you can access the tutorials here. Teaching aids, we're going to talk about those when we launch into the product here, but you can access the teaching aids. And the goal is the teaching aids save you guys time. Long days teaching, so we're going to hopefully help you out there. Now, request training, if what you're getting today isn't doing it, you can click on the request training button. This will launch open the calendar to our implementation specialist. Her name's Stevie George. You can schedule out 30 minutes, an hour. however much time you need with her, and you can do a one-on-one session. Let me go back here, and let me point out also, if you go to right now, if you go to testout.com, and you want to go to this Getting Started button here at the front, and then go to Customer or Access Instructor Training. So Getting Started, Access Instructor Training. You will see we have a bunch of group training sessions. You can join these, as well as we've recorded a lot of sessions. And so you can access the recorded training sessions at any time on this particular page. So, and once again, you can access Stevie's calendar here. So you can jump in here and go through some recordings if that's the way you'd prefer to do it. And so you don't have to do a live session. Okay, anything else here? I think we're good. Okay, we're going to talk about, let's talk about classroom management. So 3 tabs at the top here: my school, my products, and certifications. By the way, notice this banner at the top here. We do have some tutorials that are really common at the beginning of school here. Getting started, creating your classes, access to all the tutorials, best practices. If you want to join the Facebook Test Out Teacher Facebook group, I do try to give out prizes on Friday, so it's probably worth joining there and participating in. We got socks and t-shirts and stuff we'll send you. And then technical support you can access here. But we've tried to keep a lot of these common links up here in this front banner page as you initially log in. If you were to close out this window, by the way, I'm not going to do it because I do want Elizabeth to be able to see this. It will end up in the Test Out Labs Him message sender or message area. And so you'll see that there's a couple welcome items here. Okay, my school, my products, and certifications. My school is going to be my classroom management. So let's talk about the ways in which you can import students or get them into the program. By the way, I always suggest adding students first. So if we're going to do it individually, one by one, I'm only teaching a class of 15 or 20. I'm probably going to want to add them one by one. So let's go through that process. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on the Students tab. And now notice I'm seeing students already. Now Ruth just started, right? So we probably want to isolate the view down to her individual students. So now we're going to see, okay, I'm not seeing anybody else's students within the school. And so this is owned by the campus. So Challenger Middle School, this is going to bring all the students in unless you isolate it into your view. So Elizabeth, sorry, I'm going to keep calling her Ruth because it's shorter, but as Elizabeth doesn't have any students enrolled here. So let's go ahead and create one. We're just going to mess this up here, but let's create, I'm going to actually just make one for her. And we're going to call it Elizabeth and Ruth, and we're going to call it a student account. I'm going to go Ruth student here. And we're going to make the username and password. We don't want to do that. We want to, wow, what did I just do? I'm going to make the username Elizabeth Ruth student, and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that. Okay, so what we're looking for here, put in the student's first name, last name, create a username and password. My suggestion, if you're doing them one by one, make all the passwords the very same for the initial login. I always like to suggest using the school mascot in the year 2020. If you're using, like I had a teacher the other day who did the school and then 1, 2, 3, 4. The problem is 1, 2, 3, 4 will get picked up by our security people or our system, and it'll say that's an invalid password. So we need something that's non-sequential in numbers. The password does have to be 8 characters long as well. So we're going to go ahead and create this student account. So we've given them a username and password. Email is optional, but if they do need a password recovery, I would put in an email address because then they can get their own password recovered. Okay. Brendan wants stuff from the community here. All right, from the Facebook group. You got to earn it. You got to earn it. Okay, so I'm going to click create. That just created a student account. Now, the problem is we have no classes for that student to go into. So that's step 2. 1, create a student account. Step 2, go ahead and create a class. So we're going to come under the classes tab now. We're going to create a class, and we're going to call this Demo DIT. And we're going to click the start date and end date. We're going to put this somewhere out into July 1st. I'm the instructor. That's great. And the product we need to pick is Desktop Pro Plus. We do need to associate a product with the class. If you don't, you're not going to see the group show up.
Can I interject this, Mingo? I created a class already, and I have a lot of students, so I think I made a mistake. So my class name is IT Fundamentals or whatever, and then the Lab Sim Products.
Yes.
I think I picked different. Is what I'm saying. Can I just start
Yeah.
over?
So if you're doing an IT Fundamentals class and you have access to both, and we do have, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, we do have some teachers that have access to both, and some that just have access to the Desktop Pro Plus. And so you could have a class associated with two products. That's a great question. And so if you're teaching both products, you can go ahead and associate both products. And I'll show you the reporting how to see what they're doing in both products.
Okay, thank you then. Go on.
You do two products.
Mark, you were breaking up there a little bit.
I'm glad to hear I can do two products.
Yes, you can associate the class with two products. There's pros and cons to doing it that way. You can create two classes. If it's me, I probably associate with two products. Just call it one class, right? So let's go ahead and click create. This is now going to create the demo DIT class. I'm the instructor. Well, Elizabeth is the instructor, and the product is Desktop Pro Plus. Click create. Okay, so we've created a student account. We've created a class for that student to go into. But if I were to click on the title of the class, look at my students, notice I don't have any students enrolled yet. So I need to enroll. So we're going to click the student enroll button. Now what I'm going to do here, and if you have a student roster and it's alphabetical, this becomes really easy. So we're just going to come in here and we're going to click on Elizabeth Ruth and click the plus button next to her name. And now I'm enrolled into the course. Click done. Okay, so now I've created a student account, created a class. I've enrolled my student into the classes. The problem is here, if they were to log in right now, they don't have any active products. So they'd see nothing. So this is the mystery step everybody forgets. And the student will get an error that says activation required. Well, Nicole's been so nice. She's already purchased the licenses for it. You as a teacher just need to activate the licenses. So to do that, I'm going to come back to my class name. I'm going to check the box next to the class name, and I'm going to go to Actions and Activate Product. Okay, we're going to give me just a second. I think my bandwidth is going a little slow here. As soon as this meeting's over, I'm going to the Comcast store to get a new modem because apparently mine has issues. So, come on.
They may not let you in. You may have to order it online and have it delivered to your house.
Yep, it happened to me here in Fort Myers, whatever, Lehigh Acres. It was horrible.
Oh,
and
please.
Charging me for two modems too for months. Like I had to go to corporate. It was ugly.
Don't tell me that, guys. Come on, it's Friday.
It's okay, relax. Go through it. I did.
Activate product. Come on, we're going to come in here, and there'll be a button that says activate product. This isn't good. Let me see if I can.
Can I ask a question, Travis?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're still having students switch between classes. So Mark is a co-teacher of mine, and he's already gotten one or two of my students this week. How does that work?
So yeah, great question. So how do we, and I just had this from another teacher in Arkansas. So I'm teaching a class, but they moved into the other teacher's class, right? So we'll just come into the class and we click on enroll. We're going to see everybody in the whole school on that list. So you can, by the way, you can see the other teachers' classes. So if I go to classes and I want to view the other teacher, so I can show classes from any instructor now. So I'm not seeing that, but if another teacher, so I could go into the other teacher's account, unenroll him from that class and enroll him into mine. Does that make sense? So basically you're just changing up the affiliation.
It does. I appreciate you sharing that. Let me ask you, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, thank you so much.
I think that student can actually unenroll themselves from a class. May have to.
Yeah, but we can too.
Yeah, but the problem is if they do that, they won't have any grades, and then they'll quickly realize that was a stupid thing, and they need to have their grades reported. So, but you can enroll and unenroll the students. Okay, I'm going to give this one last try. Click on Activate Products, and there'll be an Activate button that'll pop up. I think it's a bandwidth issue on my side right now.
Yeah, but I can't activate mine, and I'm at work.
You can't?
I cannot. I get the same thing you get. I get
Which is
product.
that button not opening up and saying Activate?
Correct. It says product activation, just like yours. A little black close button. That's what I get. So do that again. Say activate. That area is right in front of me. Like I'm left of this monitor.
Yeah, so this one yesterday for me was taking a second to open up, but it opened up. So I hope we don't have any other, because that'll be a huge problem.
Like a basic question. So I made that class. I chose this test out ID fundamentals thing, and then does it take you to chapter one? You know what I'm trying to say. Does it start at chapter one, or you bounce around?
So let's talk about what it's going to happen now on the student side. So let me come into my class. I've created a student. By the way, if you want to see the student side, notice the menu button over here is 3 dots. I wish it was a little bit darker, a little bit more noticeable.
I see it. Yeah, we see it.
We can click on this. Now I'm going to be curious if there's an activated product here. So there is. So that activated. So this is what the student will look like. By the way, you may want to, as a getting started, notice they have some demo videos here at the top as well. How to use the courseware, how to look at their reporting, how to get help. So those are kind of the 3 big areas. And so if I'm doing this day one, and even if, are you guys remote or are you in person? I forget.
I have both. I'm hybrid.
Oh, okay. So you may want to just in class and in, virtually watch these kind of getting started videos, answer any questions as they might have them.
Perfect.
Now, for a student, they'll launch the course by clicking on the title or the icon here. And so let's just take a look real quick at what the student's going to see. So it's going to launch in a point 1 demo video of introduction, welcome to the course. The key, and this is a key for them to launch the course and get into the content, menu buttons up here in the top right-hand corner next to the actions button, and they'll click on this. Now, I keep getting teachers, they ask, well, how do I assign out a particular section? So there's no real assignment communication here. So whether you're using Schoology or Google Classroom or you're just using email, your job is to just say, okay, today or this week, we're going to go through sections 4.3 and 4.4. And so then they'll click on chapter 4, and then they can start on 4.3 and launch that particular section. So the students need to understand the menu button's kind of going to be the key to launch out the different sections and to go where they need to go. Okay, any questions on what you're seeing here as far as the student view? Okay, now notice each section.
With the student view, you're saying go there during a class period, obviously, if they don't do it in their own homes, and run them through these little videos. It ain't going to hurt at all. They're pretty useful. They're used as somewhere. Okay, I'll do that. I think what we'll do like Monday, Tuesday. That's awesome. Okay, assignment.
Yeah, let's see. Let me go back to my home screen. So once again, back on the students. So they're going to see the class they're enrolled in. They'll see the product. If they want to see their reports, they can view exam reports here. They can view their reports here. The score sheets, how much they're using the product. By the way, let them know day one. I'd be letting them know day one. I can see everything you're doing. Eyes everywhere. I can see how much time you're watching videos. I can see when you logged in and watched the video. I can see when you went through the lab. Don't lie to me, right?
So 100% monitoring.
Yeah, I mean, so you're seeing their engagement. So use the reporting as your feature, as your friend, because that's going to help. That was the big challenge in the spring, right? We had all the student engagement. Once they knew that they weren't being held accountable, student engagement just fell off the cliff, right? If it were me teaching this class, I would give weekly participation points or activity points for them watching the videos and going through the text lessons, and you're seeing some type of time element to justify that, yeah, they did something here. So that would be my suggestion. We have to start holding them accountable for using the material. I don't think I need to say anything more about the student side of things. This is what they'll see, I think would suffice it. And you can, by the way, once again, I'll show you where you can access that student view. I'm back in my teacher account now. 3 dots over here. This is my extra menu button. Click on that and then go to student view to see what the students are seeing. Okay. Let's talk about, so we created a student account, we set up a class, we're ready to go. So let's jump over here to my products. This looks slightly different on the teacher side because what we're going to see here is a button that says teaching aids. So let's click on this and talk about the different teaching aids here. Okay, let's scroll down here. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. The 2 most useful, well, there's 3, okay, there's 4 things on here that I'm going to say are really useful that I'd focus on. The bottom one, which is going to be our course pacing guide. Let's take a look at this. This is just a glorified pivot table we've already created to help you game plan where you need to be and what you need to go through. So let's take a look at this. Let me bring it into your screen. And let me enable editing and let's go through this. This will be really helpful. Let's say we're just going to isolate the word chapter and we want to go through it in 8 weeks. We'll say 8 weeks. So we can come in here and now this is going to create my week by week section of where I need to be at. So once again, if I'm setting up a week by week schedule and I've got some kids virtual, some kids in class, this is going to help me put together a game plan. Okay, Monday, I'm going to assign out 4.1 and 4.2. Now notice total of 8 minutes. That's just an introduction to Word. It's not going to take them long. And then we're going to jump into the 4.2 on creating documents. So Monday, I'm letting the students know, here's the assignment 4.1 and 4.2 this week. And we're going to do a Zoom meeting on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll answer questions. We'll do some demos of how to create documents and use the clipboard. And Friday, we're going to have an end of section quiz, so you better be ready for it. So this is what the pacing guide looks like. Now we can, you can create a whole semester or year long. By the way, if you are doing the true DIT objectives, you may want to pull in these common office features, but computer essentials and online essentials as well. And so you can build out your pacing however you want here. You can select the different resources. Okay, the other resource I'm going to share with you is the lesson plans, and I've got these pulled up already. This is an example of what you're going to see in section 4.6. So notice each section will have a list of focus questions. Oh, so Nicole's asking, can you enter how many minutes you have a week, or is that table calculating a predefined number of minutes? The answer, Nicole, is it's calculating a number of predefined minutes, and I'll show you how those are populated. In our 2019 version, we actually expanded out the pacing guide, so you could manually put the number of minutes you were requiring, but we don't have that in the 2016. We didn't go back anyway. So I'll show you here in the lesson plans kind of how those minutes are calculated. Each section in the lesson plans will give you some focus questions. So maybe you're asking these Monday using this as your Zoom meeting content, or maybe you're talking about other things, and Tuesday you're having them email back responses to some of these questions. Also, we're going to see a list of objectives. Our simulations are good enough. This is a crazy idea, but if we go strictly online or you're looking for extra stuff, you could actually have them open up Word, open up a new document, and have them just create something to practice this with. Take a screenshot and send it back to you. So this list of objectives, if you wanted to do something crazy like that, you could. The biggest thing for me with the lesson plans that you're going to see is the total time in the resource. So we're looking at 68 minutes to go through this particular course. So if you got a high flyer that's an overachiever, wants to fly right through this, and he or she may be right, they may get through it in a lot quicker pace. So Nicole, let me show you down here at the bottom in the appendix how we designate the time for each section. So video lessons, those are predetermined. So it'll call out in the lesson plans how long each video in that section is. Text lessons, we're going to give 5 minutes. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, no high school student spending 5 minutes on a text lesson if we're just asking them to read through a document. Maybe 1 or 2 kids, right? The goal with the text lessons, and we'll talk about this when we get into the product, make those engaging. There's a lot of things you can do to make those fun and interactive. So they're spending more than probably 5 minutes. But if we're just expecting them to read through it, we're going to call it out 5 minutes. Simulations, we're going to call that out as 12 minutes each. Live project labs, which aren't in the 2016 version, are 20 minutes. And each question that we're going to have at a custom exam question will be 1 minute. Okay, so that's the lesson plans. MOS Instructor Guide, what you're going to see there is an objective mapping. So we're going to take every objective on the test and tell you where it's covered in Desktop Pro Plus and how it's being covered. So if we're teaching formulas in Excel, we're going to tell you where it's covered. We're going to tell you if that's covered in a video lesson, on a fact sheet page, or simulated in a lab environment. So I like to point out Excel. Excel, if you've been teaching it forever, you know kids struggle in 3 areas: tables, charts, and formulas. It's just every kid struggles in those areas. So that's a good one. Come in here, see how we're covering it, see if you feel like we need to cover it a little bit better, a little bit more, review it, but use the instructor guide. We also have some best practices and some tips and tricks to get those kids to pass that exam. PowerPoint slides up here at the top as well. These are basic shells meant for you, and you can bring those in and use those as well. So go through, spend your free time on the weekend going through the teaching aids. Don't do anything fun or yard work or catching up on laundry. Don't do that. All right. Okay. Are we ready to jump in the course? Domingo, any questions? You feeling good about things still?
Yeah, I'm full of questions. So I chose it's weird because I did a lot when maybe I should have waited, but I chose the Test Out IT Fundamentals Pro 2.0 as like my class, right? Like the one I want to teach. And and when I look at my products, I'm just confusing me. I see tons of stuff here. All that is available to South? To me?
So, boy, let's just.
We bought you the IT fundamentals, I believe, with the MOS for you, Mingo. I know we have the IT fundamentals.
So why don't you click on my products? And do you see 2 courses here?
I see many. So when I pick,
we didn't buy all those for your students. I think I just put those in for fun when you and I were together.
I have a question about that because when I enrolled my students in the IT fundamentals, I had the option to do Pro 1 or Pro 2. I went with Pro 1. I wasn't sure if that was the right thing to do, to be honest with you.
Have you started with the kids?
No.
No.
Okay.
Me either.
I'm going to suggest use 2. You're going to have more content.
I guessed well.
Yeah. There's a lot more hands-on labs. The kids are going to be drawn to, and we'll jump over to IT fundamentals here in a minute, but you're going to see more labs in version 2. We went from 27 labs to 105. So
okay, that just kind of is a segue into my next question is, I would like to remove some of the product I've added. Is that going to be possible? Because based on what I'm hearing today, I probably jumped the gun here.
Okay, we're going to jump over to your account now, Catherine. Okay. Catherine, what's your last name? Let's look at
Mackey, Mackey.
And then jump over mine. I'm greedy. I want you to see.
No, we're leaving you over there. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's finally something I could do, man. It's awesome. I've been giving them PowerPoints. They hate it.
Okay, so Catherine, when we come into my products, let's see what we see here. So Desktop Pro Plus and IT Fundamentals. Now, the key in using version 1 or version 2 is how we're associated in the class. So I'm going to come back out to your school, my school, and you've got period 1. Now, the key here is you click this, click Edit, and we're going to remove version 1, and we're going to add.
Actually, don't add it yet, because I think what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry, I want do want to remove the IT fundamentals now, and I'm just going to use it more after speaking with Nicole today. Nicole, that I should probably not assign it to all my classes yet until I know,
Oh, okay.
use it more targeted.
Sure.
Because we have a limited number of
That's
licenses.
a great point. So you may not want to associate the class with both products at once, because then that brings up, and maybe that was a point Domingo said, earlier. Do I want to create a class for and associate two products? You may actually want to create two classes, and so you could just start off with Office Pro or Desktop Pro Plus right now. And then when we're ready to move into IT fundamentals, then you create another class, and that way they're not seeing both products. And I think that might be better practice, Catherine.
I actually tried. I started today with some students, and I could see already that they were going to get confused and pick the wrong thing. And I just said, you know what, I've got to make this easier so they don't make mistakes. Okay, so that's great. So I just go into.
Yeah, so let's just, for kicks and giggles, we're going to leave this class associated with Desktop Pro Plus only. So that's all we're going to see.
Okay.
Now, let's see. Let me go back here. So now when we take a look at what the students in this class will see and click the student view, we should only see one product, which is now Desktop Pro Plus. If we associated both products,
better.
Yeah. Is that better? I think that's a better solution. Work through Desktop Pro Plus, and then you're done there. Then jump into IT fundamentals. Everybody like that game plan?
Yeah. Travis, get on my account.
All right, we're gonna jump over to Domingo. Sorry, Catherine. I want to see what he's doing real quick, and it might.
I got a whole bunch of stuff.
All right. Let's see. I got to spell your last name right.
Virola. Virola. There you go.
How many do you think there are here?
They have me under Mingo, but so it's weird. It's instead of Domingo, they got Virola.
You can do that, by the way.
I wonder if that's a fake account. I don't know that.
And you're under Mingo?
Yeah, Mingo.
I could have actually told you his name was Mingo because that's what I call him. My bad.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I like Mingo.
By the way, you can change it. Just come up here, click on my profile, and you can edit your name. I mean, you can use it for tomorrow if you want. I don't care.
It's okay.
Change it to whatever.
So look at all my classes.
Okay, so you've got one class.
Okay, but go to my product.
Okay. Oh, my products. Okay, let's see here. My products.
Yeah, I got tons.
You got ethical hacker, network. You probably got all excited during our demo, and I'm like, I'll just.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, for your students, notice here's how you can see what Nicole's purchased for you. Is you can come under actions and view licenses. And do we have licenses for him?
See, I don't think I have a license yet.
You don't.
Yeah, I know.
We ordered Mingo ITF like last week.
So you did.
Yeah, I'm looking at my spreadsheet.
Do you think it's a name thing? I'm saying, because remember, I created like that. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder if I might have to troubleshoot this. Let me look at.
I put a lot of kids in there.
Okay, Nicole, he's not on my spreadsheet.
I'm looking.
Unless I'm looking at an older version.
When you go down to school admins, it still has Mr. Ray, and it does have me. So I think if you scroll down on school admins at the bottom, right? Oops, you were there. Yeah, right there.
Oh,
see?
Right here. Is he still here?
Right. No.
Okay.
I keep
All right, I have that we ordered this. I believe it was paid on September 1st. Is the day that I told them to order it. I haven't gotten confirmation that it came through yet, though.
Oh. I can proceed with this weekend, like you said, take my own tutorials, and I can proceed putting in all the kids, right?
How many kids are you going to have? Let's just put some temporary licenses in.
I do. If you look at my, I already have a whole bunch. Yep. Like I entered a whole bunch of kids in there.
We were buying for 50.
Right. That's correct.
Okay.
We're paying 50, but I think I might have 44 students. But it's growing. There's people coming and going.
Okay.
So Travis, I'll work with you on that because I know
Okay.
we budgeted that in there, and I have another school that wants to add stuff. So
Okay. Let's just get this set up right now for you. So
Thank you.
while we're sorry, everyone, we're just going to, if I don't do
It's all
this,
good.
Nicole knows it's going to be like midnight before I come back to this. And by then
Thank
I'll
you. I
probably
appreciate
screw it up. So let's just do
So
this.
you're giving me, right, you're giving me 50 temporaries, and then when it all gets paid for the right way,
Yeah.
bureaucracy, they just turn into real ones. Okay.
Yeah, all I'm going to do is come in and change the temporary tag off and change the date out. So
Right. And then,
I'm gonna go through the cushions and all to come up with the money to pay for it by Monday, Mingo. It's all good.
thank you. Thank you. I can sell a lot of
you
biscuits.
guys
And
realize how lucky you are to have Nicole. She's like totally in your corner getting all this for you.
I'm blessed. She's. I love it.
I work with a lot of people. You're lucky. I'll tell you that right now. So
I
on
am.
the
I know.
gator.
Yeah. Hey, so real quick,
Could be worse.
I put kids in the class, and I do, but they couldn't get on because of a license issue, obviously. So if you look at my kids, see, please.
Yep.
I'll do it this weekend.
We'll log back
stepping
in
up.
here. Yep. So now we've got 2 kids in here, IT fundamentals. And so neither one of them have the product. So what we need to do is actions, activate product. Oh, here we go. IT fundamentals.
Ah, now we're
And
talking.
Now we're seeing things better, right? Hit activate and activate. They're ready to go.
So which one do I want? The Pro 2, right?
Yeah, I would suggest it. So come in here to the class and we're going to associate it 2.0. Yep.
I got it. That's lovely, man.
Okay.
So that one kid, Neo, can already be approached by me. He can get in there and start looking at those videos, correct?
Correct.
That's awesome. Yeah, these kids
Brandon,
tomorrow.
we're in the chat though. Pretty good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Great. I want my kids working through the weekend. Right.
Perfect. Okay, so why is this kid? Why is he not activated? What's going on here?
Activate them.
Why didn't it pick him up?
Refresh?
Is he a returning student from last? No, you didn't have
I don't know.
Weird.
Do I have to hit activate to each kid?
No, it's going to pick up the whole class, and it should.
Okay. All right, because you gave me, that's what I'm saying. In my licenses, I have 50 out of 50 and 49 out of 50. One says,
Yeah, for some reason that kid is not.
one says Pro Plus and one says Pro, but like you said, it's all good.
What was his name?
The other,
activated?
oh, I didn't look. I think it was Neo. No, Geo is the one that you let in, or Neo. Nice.
Isaiah. Sorry, I just. Why is he not even showing up? How do you spell Isaiah? That's not right.
Hold on. I'm looking at I have my roster right here.
Something's going on with him, but anyway, I'll come back and we'll work through that when we go and figure out what's going on.
And I can re-enter, right? I could delete kids and just start over. But back to the license.
Always archive. That's a great question. So the student list here, by the way, if you ever want to get rid of a kid, don't delete him.
Don't get rid of that one. That's real.
Click actions and archive. But before you archive them, email me and say, okay, I've got Susie that's moved out of state. She's never coming back. Please deactivate her license. That way Nicole doesn't have to over purchase. And that's a great point to bring up here. If a student moves out of the class, please just email me. I'll deactivate the license. That makes it now available for somebody else.
Thank you. So be meticulous. I got you.
And then once it's deactivated, then you can go ahead and archive the student. Just come here, actions, archive student. That'll get them out of your list, out of your life. You'll never see them again.
I got you. So a name is associated with a license. Keep all that together. I got you.
Right. Yeah. It's really best practice to archive. So if they ever come back and say, well, I did this and this and this and that class, it's not lost. It's not gone forever. So just archive it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go through the product. Any other questions so far? Isaiah, thanks. Yeah, I couldn't find him though. Let's see. ISAI. I need to go read my Bible more. Ugh. All right, I'm not seeing him. There's something going on with him. We'll come back to him. I'm blaming it on Mingo. Okay, well, let's stay logged in as Mingo here. Okay. Okay, this meeting is going way faster than I thought. Products, my products. Let's click on my products, teaching aids, and wow, Bingo's got a whole bunch here. But we're looking for Desktop Pro Plus. We're gonna start there. Desktop Pro Plus. You only have Office Pro. I need to fix that. Bingo, going out as you. We're gonna go back to Catherine. Catherine,
Okay.
you still with us?
Yes. Yes, no, I'm here. I'm here.
It was
Just
Mackie.
give me a minute to find the microphone. Mackey, Mackey,
Catherine, like that.
Erine, correct.
Okay, we're gonna go back in here as you. Mingo's all messed up right now. I'm gonna get rid of a bunch of those products, get them out of your way, and fix that Isaiah problem. So
I got issues.
okay.
I got issues. Don't.
We all knew it. We just didn't want to say it. Okay, so we're gonna launch Desktop Pro Plus. Once again, if you're using version 2, just associate IT Fundamentals to version 2. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me go back out here. Sorry, I want to point out. Let's talk about browser capability. Wherever a student has access to internet, mouse, and a computer, they should be able to log in to test out. So that's on a Chromebook, a PC, or a Mac. Inevitably, you're going to get the question, what about my phone or my iPad? iPads or tablet-type devices, we should be fine watching text lessons and videos. They cannot do labs. Now, I will say, I did hear of a teacher yesterday. I don't remember what state, but one of my colleagues said they had a teacher that used a wireless mouse with an iPad and it worked. I'm not going to say it's going to work on an iPad. Don't try it. So, but video lessons and text lessons should be able to still on a tablet. Phones, they're going to ask it. Just say, nope, it doesn't work on phones. In theory, it does because it's all HTML5 compliant, but it's not a good user experience. So just answer that no. But Chromebook, Mac, PC, wherever they want to go, they should be able to log in here. Let's launch the course. Either click on the icon or the title here. Let's go through a section here in Word. Now notice Online Essentials and Computer Essentials. This is DIT curriculum here. If you were to cherry pick 2 sections out of these, I would cherry pick Online Safety and Security in section 1.4, and I'd go to Computer Essentials, and I would do the File Management 2.3. Feel free to use those how you want, cover the material how you want. This might be a good getting started until the classes settle down and you have students unenrolling and enrolling.
Could you just repeat the numbers on those 3?
Yeah, so in chapter 2, the one I like, Computer Essentials, is 2.3, File Management. So when they come up to you and say, hey, Mrs. Mackey, I saved it, but I don't know where it went, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to say, hey, we taught you how to save files, keep track of them, how to manage them. The other one in chapter 4, Online Safety and Security, I believe is 1.4. Online Safety and Security. So going through this, we take them through a phishing email scam, alert them to, hey, here's some things to watch out for. Okay. By the way, Catherine, it looks like you came in here and did some stuff. You're looking at some videos. Is that true?
Yeah, I like I said, I started today with some students.
Okay.
Is this me? Or is this a student?
Yeah, this is you. So we get a little green check
Oh
mark.
yeah, I've been working. Yes, I have.
Been working.
I've been working.
So
Hey, wait.
Yeah,
Wait,
go ahead.
you said it was 100% monitoring on students, and that means me too? Right?
I'm Big Brother. Yeah. No.
Yeah, okay, I'm just making sure.
I think our support team can monitor you. I can't. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Just don't look at my scores. I intentionally got things wrong because I wanted to see what the feedback was like.
Actually, you know what? We're in the student view, so it actually won't record any scores. You have to
Okay.
be in the student view to record scores. Let's talk about little green check marks. Students are going to think these are progress check marks. And in some cases, the videos and the text lessons, they kind of are. That means I've been in here, I think it's 30 seconds, and then they'll get the green check mark. You've been in that resource. They're going to think the same thing, though, when they get to the labs. Now, the problem is the lab will only give them a green check mark if they pass it with 100%. So that means I'm proficient there. I've checked it. That is not, I've been in here and done it all. That means I passed it all with 100%. Just to be clear, it's confusing. I wish we'd get rid of it, but I did get some clarification on my side that's so a student could come into the lab, do it 3 times, score 90, 95%, 98%, then still wouldn't get a green check mark. You're like, but I did it. Well, you did it, and I can see that in your grade book, and you can see it in reports, but you don't get the green check mark unless you get 100% on the labs. Okay. By the way, practice exam material down here for the MOS certifications for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint down here. We have our own certification. We call it Desktop Pro. This is not on a CAPE list, but it still might be worthwhile as a cumulative assessment if they get through all 3. We lump it into our skills guarantee program where Test Out's going to back up their skills with $1,000 to any employer that's hiring them. We're going to say to that employer, hey, hire this candidate, this kid, because we're going to say they're proficient. You hire them within 3 weeks of hiring them. You find out that they suck and they have no idea what they're doing. We're going to say, sorry, you hired the wrong candidate. Our training should have prepared them better, and they should never been able to pass that certification. So anyway, have them take ours as kind of a year-end final review. Okay, let's go through a section in Word. Okay, I'm going to go through 4.4. This one has 4 video lessons, 2 fact sheet pages, Skills Lab, Challenge Lab, and Applied Lab. You're going to see the same cadence throughout this course. And when we move over to IT fundamentals, same type of thing, video lessons, text lessons. You'll see a video demonstration of how to do the lab, then an end section quiz. We'll jump over there. I'm going to jump into the 4th video here, though. 2 ways to play the videos. I'm going to suggest you can either play it full screen. I'm going to suggest that you always play it with what we call the interactive script open. So if you watched the videos before, you know that this is going to be word for word what the instructor is saying as he or she's going through the course. Now, I'm going to give you my top 3 reasons why you should do this. The first one, most important, we're hitting multiple learning styles here. So as students follow along, we get the visual, the audio learners, we're getting everybody, we're presenting it in several different ways here. We find students retain more information as they follow along with the written text. And my wife, she's an English teacher, reading specialist, and this year she's a digital tech coach. But I can tell you we're helping with reading skill development here. So I know you guys all have students with low reading skills in your classes. It's just the reality. And so having them follow along with written text will help that. Most videos, 3 to 5 minutes in length. I actually probably say 2 to 5 minutes in length. There are a couple shorter ones. This button here is a speed control. So if I'm coming in for review, I can speed it up. More importantly, I have a student with an IEP, an accommodation, an ESL student. I need to slow it down. We can slow it down. By the way, I think it was somebody in your district that reached out to me yesterday or the day before saying, hey, I've got a kid, all they speak is Spanish. They have no English skills at all. We do have a Spanish version available. I can give that to you to give to them. So that's available, as well as you can also do the Google Translate, the Chrome extension Translate. It'll auto-translate these pages for you. Print or copy is available for the interactive script here. If you wanted to copy out, make a Quizlet, a Kahoot, Nearpod, whatever it is you're doing, you can do that. The trick here is student engagement, right? So however I can get the students to watch the videos and pay attention. I've had some teachers copy this out, make a Google form. They got to fill in the blank as they watch. That's a lot of work for you guys, but whatever we can do to keep them engaged. You know, there's a company called EduPuzzle. Have you guys EdPuzzle? You guys seen their stuff? They do a great job of engaging students. I hope we get there. That's where they're not a competitor, but I really like what I've seen from them. Video lessons will always be followed by text lessons. So this is where you get paid the big bucks. This is the document that I was saying earlier. This is the one you got to get engaged in. So make a Kahoot, make a Quizlet, make a crossword puzzle. There's lots of tools and resources out there to make these a little bit engaging for you. Anybody doing anything fun that they like doing that you can see where you could use this? No. Bunch of minimal effort teachers, Nicole. These teachers leave at
We're
contract
taking notes
hours.
right now. You're
They're
going
leaving when the bell rings.
I hope everybody knows a word when they come to me.
I hope you know I'm all kidding, because the fact that you're on this meeting shows me that you're not.
Mingo's the high maintenance one in the group.
Yeah. We've already discussed there's problems there, but okay, let's go through the labs. We've already gone 50 minutes. Have we already gone 50 minutes? Well, so let's go through, and I want to get talk reporting, but let's go through what we're going to see with the labs. Now, this is a completely online environment. They don't need to download anything. This is a fully simulated view of Microsoft Word. We're going to go through 13 tasks here, and what we're doing is trying to teach the paragraph section of the ribbon in Word. So all of these tasks are going to be centered on that particular area. Okay, once again, I apologize. This is my modem speed, I think, coming into play. If you do have extreme slow loading at school, we do have what we call our LabSim Accelerator that your IT folks can download and put on your local server. So it's coming off the local server instead of off the internet. That actually might be something you want to look at anyway, but just monitor that. It's called the LabSim Accelerator, and we can put that on your system. Okay, I'm going to kill my camera for a minute because sometimes that helps speed things up. So let me get rid of me. So now you don't see me taking a nap. This is not good when a product doesn't load into I'm trying to demo it. There we go. How about that? Okay, there we go. So if you see really slow load times at school, I want you to do two things. Run a speed test and let me know what the speeds you're getting are, and then email it to me. Ideally, has anybody been having issues with internet connectivity at their schools?
That's why we're home today.
No.
Yeah,
Not
the fire.
No, our
I didn't
internet's
have
good.
any problems today.
Okay.
I was fine today.
Okay, great. Let me know if you do, and we can address those. Okay, let's take this first task. Center the heading in the document. I know how to do this. Let's knock this one out. Good job, Travis. You're amazing. Let's move on. You know how to center. That's something I've been doing since 5th grade. Okay, we're going to hit the next one. Show formatting marks in the document. So this one, I don't know how to do. Now, by the way, our simulation, it's not a click path. I can come in here and do whatever I want. I can change this out. I can, retype. I can open up a new document. It's not going to matter. What we're after is that I can do this, show formatting marks. So if I don't know how to do it, I can click the hint button, populates a little paragraph. Here's how to do it. The game changer, though, especially for the kids that are remote, is going to be the show me button. Click on this, let it run.
To show formatting marks in the document, go to the Home tab and click this button.
Okay, so there I see a video that was really kind of lagging because of my internet speed. But what we're going to see here is that's how I complete the task. Now it's my turn. So I click the formatting marks button. Now my automatic feedback that pops up is going to be a little bit different. We're going to say task completed. We'll have you try this task again without help. I can tell you right now, everyone, students are going to hate this. And they're going to hate test out, they're going to hate me, but we're going to make them do it again. And we're going to make them do it again without using the help feature. They want to click on this and just be done with it, right? But we're actually not going to give them credit for it until they pass with proficiency. So I go ahead and score the slab. You're going to see I got the first one right. I did not get the second one completed and accounted for because I get this yellow triangle alerting me to the fact that I didn't go back in and self-remediate. Okay, questions on what you're seeing here with the lab? Okay, moving ahead. Second lab we're going to see, for the sake of time, I'm just going to explain this one. Challenge lab. Here we're looking for speed and proficiency. How quickly and accurately can you now go through? I miss seeing myself. How quickly and accurately can you go through the tasks at hand? So same 13 tasks, different document, but what we're looking for is speed and proficiency. We will take away the show me button, and we're going to put them on a clock. Those are the two big differences in the challenge lab. Now, I have had some teachers that'll do like games. They're going to little game board on the front here where they rank amongst their peers and against test out users worldwide. They will never see anybody else's name in front of them, behind them. They're only going to see themselves. But I have had some teachers, well, they will create this into a game, and they'll say ready, set, go, and everybody hit start at the beginning, and who can be number one for the day, right? And so you can turn that into a little bit of a game if you wanted to. Okay, our third lab is our applied lab. Here we're going to go through it. We're going to take away all help features. We're going to take away the automatic feedback. We're going to take away the both the hint and the and the show me button. The big thing here, this is like my intersection quiz. I should know how to do it by now. So the first task here that wants me to center the heading of the document, center align it. You already saw proficient at that. Okay, there it is. So this time though, I just keep going because I don't know whether I've done it right or wrong. The challenge with applied labs is reading comprehension, taking the directions and actually following them. So the next one I'll show you here. Body paragraphs, double spaced, first line indent of a ½ inch for each paragraph and no extra space before or after paragraphs. So if I come in here, I know how to double space. I'm feeling really good about myself because I know how to do that skill. The problem lies if I score the lab, I'm not going to get credit for it. I get this red X shouting at me saying, hey, you didn't do it right. Well, what did I do wrong? I want to know. So I didn't double space all the paragraphs, and there was multiple steps in there. I didn't do anything about the indentation or the extra spacing. But the self-remediation actually comes in this lab report because we're going to now give them step-by-step directions. Here's how to accomplish it. Here's how to go through it, and we want them to go through it again. Once again, go through it again, figure out what you did wrong, print this off, copy it out, go through it until you feel comfortable with what you're doing. Okay, any questions on any of those labs? Anybody? Okay, let's talk reporting and custom exams, and then we'll be done. Let me jump into my account because none of you have data, and we're gonna log in here. Okay, so let's go through this. I've got 3 classes, one I'm co-taught with, one I'm teaching, 2 I'm teaching by myself. To access your class reports, over here on the right-hand side, the 3 menu button where we accessed the student view earlier, we're now gonna click on View Class Reports. I'm gonna show you 3 reports I think you ought to take advantage of. Class gradebook, this one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna run this one. It'll bring in a list of students, all their scores, and for each of the sections. Now notice I'm not showing time elements for videos and text lessons, but if I wanted to, I certainly could. You can also narrow it down by chapter as well. Top right-hand corner, this is the export button that I'm hovering over right here. This will pull everything into a CSV file for you. So you can easily copy it out, put it into a spreadsheet, and put it into a gradebook. Okay, that's a class gradebook. The next one I'm going to show you is individual scores by product, the third one down. This is the exact same report the student sees. I like to call this one the effort report. How much effort is a kid putting into the course? So here I'm seeing the time in the resource, their newest score, highest score, lowest score, average score. By the way, I like to maybe pull the average score, especially if you get a lot of students that go through it the first time, figure out how to do it, and get all the answers, and they go from a 0% to 100%, right? Well, pull the average score then if they're pulling that trick, because then they're going to end up with 50%, and they're going to have to do it 10 times before they end up with the score they want. We can also see, so in this case, Kenneth got 3 low scores here at the beginning. Notice he's only done these 1 time. I want him to go back in and do them again. I don't want him to leave scores low like this. But this one, notice the date timestamp of when they've been in here as well. And so you'll see that. So you can point out, hey, I see the same thing you're seeing. Don't try to pull any fast ones over to me and lie to me. Okay, the third report, product usage. I used to never do this report until we all went online last spring. Let me share with you how it was used. This is tracking their product, their usage in the product. So what we could do here is select a date range. So if I'm giving out an assignment on Monday It was a teacher over in Orlando that was telling me how he used it. So he'd do a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday afternoon after lunch, he'd pull this report. Then he could set his date range Monday through Wednesday, and he could see who's logged in, who's done the videos, who's gone through the labs, and he's then emailing out to the parents and the students, hey, it's Wednesday, you haven't logged in once. I'm going to have a quiz on Friday that you're going to have to take. There won't be any retakes. You better learn how to do those applied labs at the end of section 4.4 because that's what's going to be on the quiz on Friday, right? So we can get in here and see what they've done and monitor that engagement. Okay, any question on reporting here? Okay, moving on, let's talk custom exams. You do have the ability to create custom exams. I find that successful teachers in Test Out use the custom exam feature. This allows you back control over content on when they're being assessed. So within the chapters, they can go through those many times, as many times as they want, and that's part of our methodology. We want them to repeat those. Custom exams give you a better assessment tool. So we can create our own custom exam, and you get control over when they take it, how often they take it, and the content that's in it. So I've gone ahead and created an Office Word review. And let's say I've worked the kids through section 4.4 in Word on that paragraph section of the ribbon. So now I can give them a test and bring in those applied labs at the end of the chapter and make sure they do it. I can set it up. You've got 30 minutes, you've got an hour, you've got all day, but you have to log in on Friday or you have to log in over the weekend. You can adjust those parameters, but you can come in here and create your own custom questions or custom exam, as well as include your own custom questions. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see I've got a simulation from 4.4 in my exam. I can review my questions. Let's see. I want to click on edit questions. No, I want to click on question review, sorry. So here's the questions and the simulations that I'm having the students go through. Now notice I think it's question 6-ish, maybe 5-ish. I've created my own custom question. You have the ability to create your own multiple choice or true and false questions. And I always think that that's beneficial too. So these are good for like glossary terms, making sure they understand it. Let me just walk you through the process. Well, let me click done here. And what you'll do is you'll come in here and schedule out the exam. So you come in, you can pick your class. Now I don't have any classes associated here, so it's not really helping you. But I'll pick my class, I'll pick the students that I want to take the exam, and then I'm gonna open it up. And then when they log in, they'll see that they have a notification, you have an exam coming up. And they can then click on that to open it up. But let me go through. I've created my own custom questions. By the way, we do have end of chapter pre-built assessments too. So if you click on view and click test out, it's created the exams. Notice I have these end of chapter assessments that I can give the students. So let me scroll down here a little bit more. So you'll be in, by the way, you'll always be in version 5 of Pro Plus. And so if I get through all of Excel, I can now come out here and create a schedule for my students to take this. By the way, the end of chapter ones we have created, they will have never seen before. If you're pulling from our pool bank, they will have seen those before, but these end of chapter assessments, they will have never seen before. Let me click on my questions. I've created a pool bank. And so here's where I've created my question. How often should I do my test out homework? And I can create a new question like, which beach is the best in Lee County? Okay. And none. They're all in Manatee County. Try Sarasota. Am I offending anybody yet? I don't know. What's the best beach? Nothing.
Barefoot.
What is it?
Barefoot Beach.
Barefoot Beach? That one. Barefoot or
any of the beaches on Sanibel.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, so we can come in here, create my own, and save it. And now I can pull this back into my custom item bank. And when I'm creating my own custom question, I can now add that in. So It took me a second there, but I can create my own custom questions. Okay, that's a quick walkthrough. Not quick. We took an hour. I don't want to take a whole
Can
lot
I
more.
ask you a quick,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
sorry, can
ask-
I ask you a quick question before you move on? Where were those end of chapter assessments that you were
Yeah,
just?
great question. So let me come back in here. And let me start from the very beginning. So I'm in my classes. I've got 3 classes. I'm going to click on the custom exam button.
Okay.
And now I'm going to go to view, and I want to view the test out exams. So the ones created by test out. So created by and choose test out.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's do a Q&A. What other questions are out there?
Oh, I think we answered it.
Okay, let's talk. Oh, you know what? I didn't talk about importing students in the CSV file. Aye. Let's do that real quick. So I showed you how to do one by one, right? But what if you got 100 kids? You don't want to do that one by one. You'll be there all Saturday. You can import. Here's how I'm going to tell you to walk through the import directions, and then I'm going to show you what that import should look like. So click on the question button. We're going to come in here and type in import students. And there's a button, enroll a student in a class, add or enroll students via CSV. That's the one I want, add, enroll. So we can go through and watch a video tutorial. The key is there is a spreadsheet template download. So let's open this up. Let me bring this into your view. And let me show you how it needs to be set up. So now we can copy and paste from a lot of your student list. So let me just walk you through these different fields. So column A needs to be first name, last name. So it's going to be Smith, John. Student login. This is going to be either their email address or student ID number. It needs to be unique. So email at leecountyschools.org. I don't know what you guys do. The nice thing here is if you use their email address, you can just copy out this into this next field as well. And so that's already there. Passwords. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Password. Once again, I like to use test out 2020. I just know it works. Make them all the same for the initial login, right? Class name, whatever you want to call the class this kid is in. So DIT period 1. Teacher name, this once again is going to have to be your last name, comma, first name. Has to be that format. Login, wild trav 23. That's not my login. Trav at testout.com. Password is testout 2020. By the way, it will never override if you put in the password wrong, it actually won't override it. And that's it. Okay, so what you'll do is then copy and paste. So if you can put them in a last name, comma, first name, copy and paste that into the spreadsheet. Some of these fields, you'll just, we're going to come in here and we're going to, oops, I knew I was going to do that. We're just going to duplicate them down, my whole list, DIT period 1, same thing. I'm going to come in here for all my kids. DIT period 1. I did it again. Come on, Travis. It must be Friday. There's a course that we offer on how to use Excel. I should take it.
I can teach you.
You can teach me. Nicole, are you an Excel expert?
I am a Microsoft Office master.
What? Holy
in
cow.
13, 16, and 19.
Oh my goodness. We're like brilliance. You get the idea here, okay? So we're going to
if you just double click the autofill button there, it'll copy it down. You don't have to drag.
So you know what? Yeah, perfect. Double click the autofill button. Perfect. Is this the autofill button?
Oh, the little, yeah, but it still added one. Sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna save this. We have to save it in a CSV file. So we're gonna then take that file. We're gonna come to students. We'll go to actions and notice add students using the CSV file. We're now going to click choose file. and we'll select it. So you can see I've got lots of, now I'm not going to do this because it'll mess everything up. Once I do that, it'll import the students. It will create the class, it will enroll the student, and it will create the student account. That leaves you with one step to do. Oh, two steps. You do need to pick your class and associate it with a product. So pick your class, click at it, and associate it with a product. You click off Desktop Pro. The other thing you have to do is activate the license. So come back out, click the box, click Actions, and activate product. At that point, your students are all in, they have their username and password, your classes are created, they've been associated to a product, and we've activated the products. So if you've got anything beyond, I usually say 30, 25 to 30, more than one class, use a CSV import. It'll save you some time. Okay. Did I walk through those steps clear enough, or was it too fast? Hopefully I didn't go too fast.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about something that I ran across. I used for the student passwords, I used their student IDs. They have each have an 8-digit ID. And I came across what must have been repetitive numbers because they were getting the message, or hackers, or blah blah blah. Well, they wouldn't let them use their student IDs.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, and so I was just curious if not all of them, most of them got through fine, but I had like.
So there must have been some like 2, 3, 4 in a sequence that probably kicked it out.
So, and I tried, we tried and tried, and I couldn't get it through. So I
Can you manually do it?
Could I manually do it? I don't know. Is that
yeah, so we can always come back in. So it didn't import them, or you?
I did a CSV, yeah.
Oh, okay, and it would kick them out. Let me
No,
know.
no, they took it initially, and then what happened when they signed on, even though I had already put their passwords in, when they signed on, it asked them to to change their password anyway.
Oh, and that's when they were seeing that notification.
Yeah, so even though I thought I was going to bypass that, but I didn't, because they still had.
Yes. So what'll happen, that initial passwords, whatever I created, when they log in for initial time, it will require them to change their password.
Right, that's what happened. And then when it loaded it when I did it through the CSV, but when they tried to go in and put the password, their ID, it wouldn't let them.
It wouldn't let them because there was some but yeah. So once again, you can, best practice here is to probably give them, okay, test out 2020 is going to be what you set for your CSV file. Maybe set and tell them when they log in, I want you all to change your password to Tigers 2020. Change your password. I want everybody to change it to the same.
Hi, everybody. No one can see you.
Yeah.
What I did is I had them add a ninth,
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
But it wasn't consistent, and I just wanted to share that with everyone because that was something that did come up.
It's not complicated. I don't want this stuff to be
so that brings it, yeah. So that is kind of a thorn in our side because they increased our security in the last year. So yeah, it's a pain in the neck. But we've moved it to, it has to be 8 numbers, and it can't be any sequence, and yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, that's why we thought the student ID was perfect. So it's just a little. It was just a little, Again, it was probably like you said, someone's ID.
Well, yeah. Well, we're using the student ID number as the password as well. The same number.
No, I used their normal login, their computer login username, which is their normal username. So I thought that was consistent for them. And then I used the student ID for the password. But just give people a heads up. Not all our student IDs are going to make it through. So you'll have to make some kind of adjustment or use something different. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
I just didn't want the kids to make up their own passwords because that tends to be. Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, they'd never remember. So.
Hey, Mackie.
That's my mistake. They all created their own passwords.
If you ever need a generated temporary password, just click on their name and click on password recovery, and you can generate a temporary password for them.
Okay. Brandon, what was that again? I missed it.
Hey, I got a quick question for you. When you were downloading your list to export through the CSV, where were you pulling that from? Focus? Through
Yeah,
like
you
the
can
great.
pull. Yeah, you can pull it right out of Focus. So
Okay.
yeah, so it was actually kind of easy. You go to reports, student reports in Focus. It's reports, student email reports. Showed me how to do this, just so you know.
This is Juan, by the way. He's on here, but he was saying hello.
Hi,
Hi,
buddy.
Juan.
Hello.
He's our tech person, so he's going to be able to help.
He looks like a rock.
What's nice about using the Focus is the names were all set up the way you want them. We didn't have to change the names. We had the computer login, which I use for the username. Their emails were all in there. So like everything was kind of, once you did it once, it was actually fast. We could get through all our classes pretty quickly. So.
You said that was under gradebook reports?
No, go to, it's a tab on the right. It says reports. And then when you come down, I think it's student email.
Oh.
And
Kathy,
then,
you want to share your screen? Do you have it up right now? I can make you the presenter.
I
no,
do.
but I can pull it. Okay, yeah, you can pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
It won't let me do that. Travis, you got to give me access.
Oh, so yeah, sorry. Make presenter. There you go.
All right. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
I think you have to hit share screen.
There we go. Okay. So I'm in Focus under the Reports tab.
We're not seeing your screen yet.
Okay.
Okay, so you did reports, go down to, is it student email? Yeah,
It is student email addresses,
Yep.
and then it pulls up this.
Okay, that's fine. Now go to see where it says 28 scheduled records on the left-hand side, and there's the little icon next to it.
Yep. And
Click
then,
that.
yeah.
No, wait, go to the left. You're not done
Go
yet.
to the left.
Go to the left where it says 28 scheduled records.
Yes.
23, and there's that little Excel icon. I think it's looks blue.
This
You
right
gotta
here?
click on it. Yeah, go to
Yeah,
that.
and then it pulls up.
Click it. And that will pull up an Excel sheet with all the information on it.
Okay. That's really awesome.
And then, yeah, if you click it, it's just, there's your Excel sheet. It's got everything on it. So you'll have to, move over the stuff and then set it up in the way, obviously with the headers, the way they need it for. But you've already got, you've already got your names in the right place. You've got your student IDs, you've got your emails, and you've got your username.
Beautiful.
Max, thank you so much for that.
Okay, well, thank Vanessa. She's the one who figured this out.
No, we don't want to give her credit.
She helped me, so.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Nicole's an expert now, not only in Microsoft applications, but in test out. So I'm going to send out this recording to Nicole. She can send it back out. Reach out to our support team, myself. You will see my colleague, Wendy Edwards. You may see some communications from her coming through. She's kind of you're going to be your day-to-day contact as well. Either one of us will help you out, though. Happy to help where we can.
I no longer have access to test out. Is there a way I can get back in, and could I have like a sample student so I can make myself a student so I can play with it when they ask questions?
Yes, maybe. Yep, I will do that for you.
And maybe Juan too, because he's our tech person, so he will be helping people also. I can send that to you in an email later.
Yep, that'd be great.
No soup for you.
Thank you, Juan.
You didn't have access to which login were you using there?
Nicole RB at leeschools.net. don't think I have access.
Use a Nicole RB or just
Mhm.
Nicole. I have you locked. Go to Nicole RB.
At leeschools.net.
No, I just have you log in for Nicole RB.
Oh.
Cool.
And give me 1 second because I'm going to change your password and then you can change it again. But
Okay.
then you won't have to do a password recovery.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Any other questions while I'm doing this?
Thank you guys
Yeah,
for joining. I know it was out of your contract hours and all.
We need to know.
It doesn't matter. It was worth every minute.
Yep.
Yeah, this was so helpful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This helped me a lot.
it was helpful. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
On that guy. So I was just wondering on things like some of the exams, if we have the ability to limit how many times that they can take it. And then my second question is, can we start removing content from the textbook so that students can't see certain parts of it after we've gone through it?
Yeah, great question. To answer your first question, yes, when you create a custom exam, you can limit the amount of times that they can retake that. And there's a field in there to do that. As far as limiting content, the answer is no, unless you're using a learning management system like Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle, which you guys are not. Is that correct? You're not using a learning management system?
We're not, but are you saying we could if we wanted to?
Good.
Yes.
Because like we have access to Blackboard, we could create some shell accounts and start running the content through it, but
Yeah, those if you wanted to, you could, and then through those features, you're limiting what they see there. But in test out, that's my number one added feature to test out for next year is to give teachers the ability to lock down and open up information.
okay.
I got a quick one.
Yeah.
I got 50 licenses. This is for Nicole, but I know right now I have 51 kids. And like he said, it's changing it. They're putting in my class and out. Should we bump it up to 55? I don't know if that's a cost issue or whatever, but
I'm already shaking through the cushions, Mingo. Where else do you want me to get this?
okay, one more. That's it.
Right. I have another school that wants 28 more, another one that wants 70 more. I'm trying. Email me.
But one kid's absent, so I'm not gonna chase him down.
Email me. And at the beginning of the week, I'm going to try to place another order and get everybody who wants anything, and then I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay, roger that. And then I'll tell Miss, our admin stop giving and taking. But I appreciate this training. It was awesome. This weekend, I might send you an email there, Travis. I might.
Hey, that's all right. I'll be
You can see it
answering.
Monday.
Nicole,
Yeah, you can
Nicole
see it
knows how
Monday.
busy I've been answering emails, and it is what it is. It might be 1 a.m. your Eastern time before I get an answer to you, but
Yeah,
I'm
no
trying to
worries.
get through all my emails today. But if it's over the weekend, and as we go through the school year, I really try to answer my emails even on the weekends because I know that's sometimes when you guys have the time to even look at stuff. So just reach out to me. I'm happy to do so.
And I'm happy to.
Don't bother Wendy on the weekends. I like Wendy too much. Send the weekend emails to me.
Okay.
Got to keep Wendy on my good side. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. And
Thank you.
Nicole, I will. Your password is now testout2020.
Got
Large
All
one, testout 2020. A capital T, capital O.
All right, guys.
Hey, thanks, guys.
it. Thank you.
Take it easy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And then Travis